Asher and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm going across the pond tomorrow, but now we're talking across the pond because I want to find out what the weather's like so I know how to pack for tomorrow, because I think I have like 4 suitcases just for the UK alone for the different weather I'm going to experience all day long every day. So let's welcome to the show, Detroit Run. How are you?
Hey,
we're great.
We're great.
Yeah, really good.
So I have to tell you too, like if we're gonna have to do something to really get your name up in Google, because when I Google Detroit Run, you come up, but right above you comes Run Detroit. So I want all the listeners to know that that's not you.
Yeah, definitely not us.
So, okay, you guys are in the UK right now.
Yep.
And I'll be there tomorrow, getting ready for download. And here's what's really cool. I absolutely love that we have to find you at download to win. Tell us about that.
So I kind of wasn't aware of it until probably a few hours ago. But basically, me, Wes, and Gary, look, as a band, we all love playing like practical jokes on each other, and this is just the latest one that they've decided to cook up just because I'm the only member who's going to be there. So they thought it'd be funny, sort of without my discretion, to put like a big wanted thing up and just say, "Oh, if you find him, take a selfie with him and tag us in it." And I think it would have been funny if I'd have not seen it, because I'd have had these people like coming up to say, "Oh, you're the singer of the Detroit Run." Yeah, there you go, let's get a selfie. So yeah, it's more of a practical joke thing, but at the same time, it'd be pretty cool to see the reach from it, to see if anyone actually tags on, and it'll be fun to get approached by lots of strangers.
I love it. Like, that's so me. I'm originally from New York and New Jersey, and like practical jokes are like my first language. Okay, you know. And it definitely would have been cooler if he should have been like blocked from all your social media till after download, because that would be so funny. Like, I would love, you know what, when you pull something off like that, you need to have somebody that doesn't know in the audience filming the whole thing. It would make for great freaking TikToks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, why are all these people approaching me? I don't get it. Oh man. So that's so funny.
To be fair, they have like stopped me from taking everything down. They have said, right, I've got to stay off it until I come back from download. So it's to stop me from taking it all down. Yeah. Even though it probably funny, but
So tell us a little bit about you and your music for the listeners that have never heard you. You know, I know you guys are from Liverpool, so they're probably thinking, oh, the Beatles, because that's the only thing anybody ever thinks of when they hear of Liverpool. Okay. Except it's better nowadays, because the younger generations, some of them don't even know who the Beatles are, which blows my mind. But so now they'll just know who you guys are. So tell them a little bit about your band and what it's all about, how you as the artist would describe your music, not a genre, but just the music in general.
I think our kind of style of music is definitely aimed towards the alt rock crowd, I would say. We kind of dive definitely alt rock, switching up with synths, you know, bringing that kind of big element to our sound. And I would say how we would really describe us is big synth rock. That's the best way I could say it. You know, big synth rock, and you know, we do feel we have a quite unique sound. It's not, you know, a sound that I've heard of much of. I'm not sure about you.
For our city particularly.
Yeah, for our city, definitely, because it's a lot of indie bands in Liverpool. You know, there's not a lot of alt rock bands.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that's us, definitely. Big synth rock.
And how'd this all start? And I don't mean how'd you get your band name or anything stupid like that, but like, what was that moment in life for each of you that you woke up one day and you were like, this is what I need to do?
That's a really good question.
That's a very good one. For this particular band in itself, I think I've always loved making music. I've been in bands before and stuff. And after my last band folded up, I think it was a few months or so before I decided I wanted to do it again, but I wanted to change it up and have a different role this time, because in my other bands, I'd only ever played instruments. I'd never actually tried being a singer, but I used to get like side compliments of people saying, oh, you're a decent singer. Would you not try that? And that kind of just stuck with me. And in the end, like the curiosity kind of killed the cat. And I just decided, we used a website called Join My Band. And that's how I ended up meeting Wes. Me and Wes kind of kicked off the whole thing, because it was us two like kind of hooked up for the first time. And Nathan jumped on board. But I think it was just the overall curiosity of what it'd be like to be a singer for me, because I'd never really felt that role before. And I just really enjoy being in front of crowds, really just performing naturally, because I'm an actor as well. But I think like most of it was just really spontaneous for me, because I woke up one day and just decided I just wanted to try again, really. So it was all really spontaneous and just like in the moment.
I love it. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, it was obviously, apart from what Tom's already said about us meeting up from Join My Band, you know, for me, music's been a big part of my life since I was very young. And for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be, you know, performing on stage as a career. That's never changed for me. Obviously, it's very difficult, but you know, we've put the hard work in, and we like to think it's, you know, slowly getting there. You know, but for me, it's been I would say a lifelong dream to, you know, be a performing artist on stage. Definitely.
I love it. And so how do you compare being like singer now opposed to, you know, being not really the front person, you know, because that's what the singer is a lot of times, is the front person. So how do you describe the difference in the vibe that you feel of playing both parts?
Well, the last band I was in was a 3-piece, so it was kind of all shared. We didn't really have like a main front person per se. So when I eventually like joined up with the guys and I was the main forefront, like the face of the band, it felt strange at first, because I kind of wasn't used to being the center of attention on stage and whatnot. But as I did more and more shows and got more and more confidence, I wasn't very confident to begin with, but it just built and built, and now I practically feel at home on stage every time I'm there. So it was like it was almost like the first real show that we did, the big one, when we played Underworld. That was the most euphoric moment for me, because it was our largest crowd that we played to. And I kind of felt more like a front person on that night, because the crowd was just into everything we did. And to know that I could work with a crowd that way, control the crowd like that, and feel totally confident in my own ability, I guess it was a shock, but also a big, massive boost of self-esteem, really. So I think the overall feeling was just euphoric. I loved every second of it.
And you know what? It's funny because you guys are saying this stuff, and I'm thinking of James and Lars. You know, you're like 2025, Join My Band. They didn't have that in 1981, you know, but it was like Lars put out an ad in the Classified that James answered to, and James was not a front person. Like, basically, a lot of times when Mustaine was in the band, he would like be more in the background, because he didn't have that front person thing. And it's like he was forced to be a front person once they got rid of Mustaine. And now he's like one of the most well-known, like, you know, relatable front people of all of rock, in my opinion, you know, from somebody that didn't want it. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but he was originally going to step back from singing and just work on guitar, while John Bush of Armored Saint, they wanted him to come sing for them. And Bush turned him down. So Hetfield had to keep singing.
Oh. I mean, I guess it's like commendable when you've obviously, when you wouldn't say backed into a corner, but when you just like, you know, you've got all that pressure on, you know, you've got to take that stance and you still manage to do it. I'd say that says a lot about the person. More than
yeah,
definitely.
Well. So
I think too, when you have nothing to fall back on, that you do nothing but move forward. So I think if you're put in that position, like you were, like he was, and many other people have been, it's like you don't even think about it. Because let's face it, when you get up on stage, there's this switch that hits that you're like in this zone, and you don't even think about it. Like, you're right before you get up on stage, you're like really nervous. But the minute that mic turns on, all bets are off.
I've always said it's always the first cheer. Always the first cheer is the one that settles the nerves, like the first song and everything. Once the first song's out the way, any nerves that I've had are completely gone. I mean, obviously, if we get like no reaction where it's just dead silence, maybe that might be a little bit, but it's never happened.
Yes,
It's never happened.
We haven't had that yet. So, you know, most of the crowds are usually very, you know, receptive towards us. Which
that thought is in the back of my head every time. It's not knocking on my
And you know what? As an artist, you're your own worst critic. So, you know, like, you probably get done and you're like, man, I really sucked. And the whole crowd's going like, yeah.
Yes, literally. I think that's
right?
a gig. I think we're all just like, no, that wasn't great. But then everyone else is screaming saying that was great. So we're like, oh, it must have been all right.
Nice. So, Defiance Part 1. I just got to be funny at first because I am in the U.S., okay? I kind of feel like it's more Defiance Part 2 in my country, okay? But tell us about the new album and, like, the story behind what Defiance Part 1 is.
Yeah, I think so. Defiance Part 1 is obviously a collection of songs that, you know, we've been building over, you know, course of a period. And I think, you know, each song is representing kind of the direction we would like to, you know, we are following as musicians. You know, with certain elements in there that are heavy, with certain elements in there that are synthy, you know, certain elements that let Tom's voice shine. And I think the collection of these songs shows what we are about. And that's what Defiance is about. It's showing who we are. You know, with the potential to, if you listen to the EP, you can see the potential to branch out in other directions as well. It's kind of like there's no top. Do you know what I mean? We can go as far as we want with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
no, you go ahead.
So I mean, just like with Defiance as well, like a lot of the story behind it as well is just built around always having the open mind of just creativity.
Yeah,
it's always been about just testing different different creative skills that each of us in particular has that we can add, because each of us has our own particular ideas that we can add onto a song, or, you know, our own set of particular lyrics that we can correlate to the theme of the overall narrative of the EP as well. Because most of the songs, if you listen to them, like the lyrics and stuff, a lot of it is about fighting back against, you know, just anything that's against you, really, if I can put it in those terms. Like, if you listen to Invincible, it's about fighting back against something that is trying to destroy you. Prototype is about fighting back against artificial intelligence. You know, it all has that correlating theme of fighting back against something,
which is all very relevant.
Yeah. No doubt. Okay, like, I remember being in the 80s and saying the machines are going to take over, and people thought I was full of shit, and here we are. Okay, you know,
and then the movies came out,
and the Invincible, man, that I can relate to that, because I kind of feel like that, especially in like the things we go through in life, in our whole life, all the time. I think that's how we get through them, is by being invincible. It's a concept. It's not, you know, you don't take it literally. It's a concept. It's a thought process, you know?
Definitely 100%.
And what can we expect from a live show?
I mean, considering a lot of things that we've heard, like the one thing that we've always heard from every show we've ever played is that like our stage presence is really good. Apparently, like, you know, I don't know where I get the energy from.
But when I don't know where to get
like,
it from.
I'll go on there and I'll feel absolutely drained, but as soon as I'm on stage, it's like you said, the switch just flicks, and then I've got all this energy from somewhere. I don't know where, but I've got it. And we've always had the same compliment from people about having this anthemic kind of
big
like just a big sound.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's
the big arena sound.
Yeah, like just our aesthetic in general, just everything from our sound to our instruments to how I sing to everything. Everything seems very well balanced.
Yeah,
in how everyone feeds back to us or reviews us or anything like that.
No, obviously our live shows, you know, a lot of work goes into our live shows. You know, we spend a lot of hours putting together, you know, different things that are going to make us sound the way we want to sound live. And with all that hard work behind the scenes, you know, we get a really good show out of it. And I think, you know, without the hard work of every member of the band, our live shows just wouldn't be as good. So it's definitely we love performing live, and we think we sound okay live. I think.
Well, you know what? That's all good, because I just found out today, like, I don't know if it's confirmed yet or not, that basically Sharon dropped one of the bands. She will not announce which one yet, off of that Back to the Beginning show. So I'm just putting it out there to Sharon that you guys should be the replacement.
Get me on there, man. I'll do it. Yeah.
She won't have to pay any travel expenses. You know, you're right there. Right? You don't have to play like a Slayer fee or anything. And everybody, they're just going to be talking about Detroit Run after that whole thing. Like, they won't even be talking about Ozzy, because you guys will just steal the whole show.
We hope.
Do I want to steal the show from Ozzy, though?
Yeah, I know. That's a rough one, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I can't steal the show from him on his last time.
I know, right? Well, he could just come sit on his throne during your set.
I can live with that.
Right? There you go. We'll put that out there. And in the meantime, if Sharon's running around like Download this weekend and she wants to take a selfie with Tom, okay, so what band are you most likely to be at their set at Download this weekend?
Oh, God, there's loads. Green Day. Green Day is an absolute certainty, more than any other. Green Day, Sleep Token, Korn, Spirit Box, Whitechapel, Don Broco, Steel Panther, but they do class with Korn, so I'm going to.
So basically everybody.
Yeah, basically everybody. Like, this is probably one of the best lineups I've ever seen. So
it is a great lineup. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll have to like find each other at Download and take a selfie. And in the meantime, let's tell everybody how people can reach out to you guys on the web, on your socials, how they can check out your tour dates, get the new EP, and most importantly, buy your merch, because the only way bands survive is merch. And you guys have some cool ass merch. As a matter of fact, one of your shirts needs to be sold at Bloodstock. It's the pink one.
With the metal font. Yeah,
that would be perfect for Bloodstock, for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
right.
There you go. So tell everybody how they can check all that stuff out.
So you can obviously catch us on all socials. It's at Detroit Run Band, and then you can also catch us on our website as well, which details any upcoming shows, the EP, any videos, you know, any kind of just general news.
Yeah, it's just www.detroitrun.co.uk.
Yeah, and so you can catch us on all of that, and obviously on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above.
Yeah. All of the handles are the same. It's at Detroit Run Band. All of it's there. TikTok as well.
And see, now, you know what, too? I think you should do some kind of like bit. You want to talk about practical jokes? Now you could do a bit where you guys are going to do a Detroit tour, like only in Detroit, Michigan, because it'll be your Detroit run.
Yeah, with the Detroit run.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, you guys rock. Your music is badass. Everybody's got to check it out, or else they're not allowed to listen to my show anymore. And thanks a lot for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.